Friends, in this video, we will be discussing a rather peculiar phenomenon. Many people are already aware of it, but for others, this information will be shocking and will open their eyes to numerous inconsistencies in official historiography. This video is about the mystery of buried cities. We can observe evidence of this burial phenomenon all over the world. Paris, Berlin, Moscow, cities in Siberia, China, South America, and, of course, the United States. Many people in the comments will say that this is just how they built, or refer to the official explanation of the so-called cultural layer. However, these versions do not hold up to scrutiny. Why are doors or windows found underground? Why would anyone go through the effort of digging up soil just to bury buildings? If we turn to the cultural layer theory, it becomes even more questionable. Official historians seriously claim that people in the past simply threw garbage and waste directly onto the streets, and no one cleaned it up. People just walked through the dirt and trash without noticing it? This explanation seems completely implausible. Just look at the buildings constructed during that period. Majestic and beautifully designed structures. How can they be associated with a society where garbage was simply tossed onto the streets? Moreover, the cultural layer accumulates at a rate of only 30 to 50 centimeters per 100 years. Yet many buildings are buried several meters deep, with the soil consisting primarily of clay. This means that the official explanations can be dismissed. But the question remains, what really happened? What kind of catastrophe caused this? When did it occur? And most disturbingly, could it be that historians and authorities are deliberately hiding the true reasons behind this phenomenon? Is this more than just a historical misunderstanding? What if this is a cover-up? In this video, we will examine archival photographs and documents of the city of Seattle. Note some oddities, but first, let's start with a brief history of this remarkable city. The territory of modern Seattle was settled relatively recently. It became part of the United States as a result of the Oregon Treaty of 1846, which established the border between American and British territories along the 49th parallel. Before the arrival of Europeans, the area was inhabited by the Duwamish and Suquamish tribes. The Spanish and British conducted expeditions in the region, but did not establish settlements or fortifications. The first American settlement was founded in 1852, which is quite recent, and by 1869, Seattle had already been granted city status. In these images, we see a map of Seattle from 1856, drawn by Lieutenant Thomas Phelps from the sloop Decatur. As we can see, the settlement is small, consisting of simple wooden cabins. However, looking at the 1878 panoramic map, we suddenly notice a clear Roman-style layout with rectangular blocks, piers on wooden stilts, and simple architectural buildings resembling barracks. Among the public buildings, we can see churches and a domed structure, which was a university. It had already existed for 17 years. On the right, we can see a railroad viaduct built over the water, supported by wooden pilings. But why was the railway leading to the port built over water instead of on land? Here is a photograph of Seattle's first university in 1870. Just look at this magnificent Roman-style building. Now, let's ask ourselves, how is it possible that in a small settlement of only 200 to 250 people, within just 14 years, they decided to build a university? Let's not forget that Seattle was located in a wild and uninhabited area, surrounded by dense forests and mountains. How did its inhabitants manage to construct such a well-developed city in just a couple of decades, without modern technology, roads, vehicles, and in such a difficult landscape? Or are we being misled? Could it be that the city was actually founded much earlier, with all these buildings and streets already in place, and the so-called first settlers were merely unearthing it? This question remains open. Perhaps we will explore it in one of our future videos. Now, I want to show you what I believe to be clear evidence of buried Seattle. These are photographs from Seattle, and they create the feeling that we are on another planet. What do we see here? Huge piles of soil, houses standing nearby, no streets, no pavement, just soil everywhere, and buildings. How is this possible? In the next photo, we see the same situation. Piles of soil and standing houses. How can this be explained? But the following photograph provides a clue. It has a caption that reads, "Leveling streets in Seattle." Here we see the city being cleared using water cannons. Very strange. I've never seen anything like this before. Let me know in the comments if you have more information about this. Another photo shows a 4-story brick building with a huge pile of soil next to it. Was this building originally buried to this level, or did the soil accumulate after the clearing process? Either way, constructing a solid building only to later remove soil from around it seems completely illogical. This is clear evidence of inconsistencies in official history. It seems like something is being hidden from us. This next photograph raises even more questions. We see a cobblestone street, and right next to it, buildings standing directly on soil. And these are well-built, solid structures. This leads to an important question. Were these buildings buried 2 floors deep, or were they originally built on top of an already buried city? In the next image, we see a buried building with an arch. The evidence of burial is undeniable. Here too, we can see a building buried at least 2 floors deep, and the streets are completely covered in soil. Clearly, we are looking at an anomaly that doesn't fit into the traditional historical narrative. To clear the city, excavators were used, which moved along railway tracks. For example, here we see an excavator in the middle of the street on a section of track with sleepers. Even today, Seattle still has streets that are underground, with facades, streetlights, and cobblestones. This is truly remarkable. In my opinion, this looks more like the excavation of a city that was previously built and then buried, with its roads, buildings, and infrastructure. For such a remote and sparsely populated area, the city seems too advanced. Friends, this is just the first part. America holds many mysteries. Similar buried houses can be found across the country, along with other strange anomalies that might point to a global catastrophe. This is just my opinion, and you may not agree with it. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. Perhaps you have more detailed information on this. Don't forget to like and subscribe. The next part is coming soon. See you soon.